Hello everyone, I am Alka1993, and it's time for something exciting. You might have seen tournament videos on my channel before, and I'm making another one, and this one's going to be way bigger than any of the ones before. And I say ones because I've already had two, you've just not seen videos of the second one yet. How is this run? And I'm going to explain this in quite detail, especially for those that are new. The tournament isn't a live tournament, first of all, so it's not you just spend 3 to 4 hours on the tournament from start to finish and then the tournament's over. No. Instead, there's going to be 3 days per round. So 72 hours to schedule a time with your opponent of that specific round to play your match. And then you have a little bit of a wait, potentially, until everyone's finished, and then we move on to the next round. We're going to start with a Swiss-style tournament, meaning if you win a lot, you face people who win a lot. If you lose a lot, you face people who lose a lot. Of which the top certain amount of players, depending on the amount of participants, move on to a single elimination bracket. That's how we're going to do it. Now, do I play normal rules? No, I don't. Because something I do in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments is provide a quite limited card pool. Now, before I tell you what's in that, registrations for this next tournament, the one I'm going to talk about in this video, they are open right now. As this video went live, registrations have gone open, and they'll stay open for at least a week. I'll put, right on top of the description, I'll put the deadline once an exact deadline has been decided on. Now, I normally have 1 to 3 main sets, a starter or structure deck, and then 1 or 2 subsets, making maximum 6 sets. This tournament is bigger than before. One, because I expect a lot more people to join. And if you want to join, please just use the link in the description, the Discord link, to take you straight to my tournament server. And you can find a lot of details there, and you can sign up there as well. It's not just the amount of participants that I expect will make this the biggest tournament so far for me, but also the amount of cards available. Because for the first 2 tournaments, now you've not seen the second one yet, but there's never been more than 6 sets. For this tournament, we're going to use 2 main sets, not 3 actually, so that's somewhat surprising maybe. 2 main sets, 2 starter or structure decks, so that's the first, and 3 subsets, in addition to 4 custom cards of my own creation. And for those that hate customs, don't worry, it's not a play this and you win card. I created them myself to be balanced. Sure, some are stronger than others, but that's the case in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. Now let's go through all the sets, have a quick look through some of the notable cards in each one. First, the main sets, the 2 main sets, and we're starting off with a pretty early set. Spell Ruler. Spell Ruler was released back in 2002. Now let's have a look at some of the cards that are available in this. There'll be a lot of the basic cards, so a lot of them I don't expect to be very competitively viable. Maybe an Axe of Despair to get some extra attack in. Maybe an Upstart Goblin, you want to use Upstart Goblin Gravekeeper Servant if you want to mill some stuff. Mystical Space Typhoon is in this, so that's probably a card that will be played quite a lot from this set. Cyberjar is forbidden, so that'll stay forbidden. Toon World is an option. Momonga, Giant Germ to get some monsters on the field. The Elemental Field spells. This set has some pretty nice cards that you could use, but probably not your main engine. Because in these limited card pools, finding a main engine is probably what will help you a lot. If you don't have a main engine, it might get really difficult. Second set. We had a really early one in Spell Ruler. We're going to go for a somewhat recent one with Code of the Duelist. So people who have been in my server before for the first 2 tournaments know that we've not had a tournament with pendulums nor with links. Now this one doesn't have pendulums either, this set, but it certainly has link monsters. So, what Code of the Duelist means, and I did say this in my tournament server for those that are in there, this is going to be the most competitive tournament yet, partially because of this set, because of what is in it. We have the initial few Trickstars, we have the initial few Gokis, we have some of the World Chalice stuff, we have Twilight Sworn, we have some other cool cards. There's so many cool things in here. There's some of the Link mods in general, like Goki the Great Ogre, Trixa, Holy Insect you can use in those things. Topologic Bomber, Dragon for Link 4. Firewall Dragon is forbidden, so that'll stay forbidden because we are using the same forbidden and limited list that the standard Yu-Gi-Oh uses, even if we have a much more limited card pool. Now you might wonder, but what if in your card pool a certain card or a certain deck becomes way more powerful than any others? Well, if we notice this and we feel that this might be the case while registration is still going on, so before the tournament starts, then a player can make a suggestion in my Discord server to change the Forbidden Limited list. I will very unlikely take something off the list, but I can definitely put something on the list. Something I'll say about Tournament 2 is Solemn Judgment was available for the tournament. It's unlimited, allowed at 3 copies in your deck. For that tournament, we limited it to 1 because we felt it otherwise would be too powerful, too useful. The other cards in this, I'm going through quickly, so I'm not mentioning all of them, but there are quite a lot of cards. Maybe the start of the Vendreds, you have a few Sonic Mice, FAs, that'd be cool if they are used. Destiny Hero Dangerous is in there, but I'm not sure if there's any other Destiny Heroes that you can really use with it. I did say we have no pendulums, but technically we do have pendulums, because look, we have 3 pendulums here. It's not that many, but there are pendulums, so maybe someone will use them. So those are the 2 main sets, Spell Ruler, Code of the Duelist. On to the 2 starter or structure decks. We're going with structure deck Cyber's Link. Yeah, more Link monsters. This only has 3, and I think only one of them is probably viable for the tournament, but who knows? Because of the many different deck types and archetypes available in this tournament in total card pool, I would love to see so many different strategies and to maybe use some niche things that some others will probably not have thought of. That'll be really exciting. So some of the basic Cyber things are in here, but it's not a starter deck, it's a structure deck. So a bit more towards the competitive scene. Debris Dragon is in here. Glow Bulb is in here. Those are tuners. There are synchros in this tournament. There's not that many synchros, but there are synchros. So synchro options are available too. Card Trooper maybe to set up your grave at Summon a Monk. Maybe get a quick Xyz in. Gold Sarcophagus to search for some stuff. And there are quite a few cards in here. The 3 links that I mentioned. I expect these 2, Trigate Wizard and Binary Resist, not to be used that often, but who knows. Encode Talker, maybe a little more. Now for the second starter or structure deck, we're just going to go with another structure deck. 2 structure decks in this tournament. It's Dragon's Collide. And what this brings is a little bit of what Tournament 1 had, is that's Chaos. Monsters that can banish a Light and Dark from the grave to special summon themselves in Darkfire Dragon, Light Pulsar Dragon. There's a bit of Blue Eyes, there's a bit of Red Eyes, but notice how there are Light Sworns. Lila, Raiko, Jane. Light Sworns, oh, and Groganith. Remember how there were also Twilight Sworns in the other deck. Lights, Darks, maybe you can combine them and make a Chaos deck. Just one of the possibilities here. Inferno Fire, Bursting Destruction if you want to focus on Blue Eyes or Red Eyes. Book of Moon might be a nice card to set some stuff up. Reasoning to make people really guess what monster you might summon, and you just have a bunch of different levels. Maybe like a 1 and a 2 and then an 8 in Blue Eyes, and you might be able to just summon it. And then Card Trader for potentially some consistency that you want to add to your deck. So those were the 2 structure decks. No starter decks this time, 2 structure decks. Now there are 3 subsets, and I call it a subset when it's just not a main set. It's a deck when it's a deck. Those are the starter and structure decks. And then you have the main sets, and then everything else, almost everything else is a subset. And World Superstars is the first of them. And there are some nice and competitive cards in World Superstars as well. So once again, the most competitive tournament I've held yet. Now what exactly is in World Superstars? We have a little bit of support for various archetypes. Those archetypes aren't actually available in the other sets, so maybe you won't see them that much. But actually, number 36 might not be that good of an example, but Heraldry Patriarch, just 2 level 4 monsters, so that is an available Xyz for you. Number 55, Goliath, generally used with Earth Rocks, but it's still just an Xyz for 2 level 4 monsters, so you have a 24 attacker right there. A Galaxy Soldier, maybe if you want to get some quick level 5 summons out there. You have not the original 3 Star Seraphs, the support for the Star Seraphs. You might be able to combine them. Numeral Hunter. There's numbers in here, but there's also the Numeral Hunter. Utopic Future, Gagaga Samurai. Some other cards that you're probably not even able to summon. But who knows, someone might be able to come up with something pretty special for these. Now, Legendary Dragon of White and Legendary Magician of the Dark are in this set. However, this card cannot be used in a duel. It's right there on the bottom. This is a card that isn't allowed in any duel, and that counts for this tournament as well. I'm pretty sure the cards aren't even on dueling books, so that wouldn't happen. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that all matches will take place on dueling book. That is something important to note, in case you play on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro and on dueling book and on Nexus. All matches will take place on dueling book. Now for the next subset, we have number hunters. We have numbers, so we have the number hunters. Let's go. Actually, the number hunters show us a lot of numbers. Now, I did say earlier that the Chronometer number you might not get to summon. Well, maybe you can, because there's Master Golem, and there's Trebuchet, there's Mutt Golem, there's Chronomelies in here, there's Gimmick Puppets in here, there's a little bit of Heroic Challengers in here. Maybe if you can get some Warriors, I think, together for Butter Spy, you might be able to get something done with that. Some of Yuma's original cards like Go 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 Golem, Zubaba Knight. Maybe you can combine Go 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 Golem and Go 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 Giant for something fancy. Who's gonna dare to use Rocket Arrow Express, I wonder? Battle Warrior. Use Battle Warrior in your deck. Super competitive. And then more Xyz options. If you play level 1s, number 54. If you play level 8s, number 15. If you play level 4s, you have number 44 Sky Pegasus. There are quite a lot of Xyz options in this. Now, we've had links, and not that many links for one specific deck, I suppose. But combine some of the links, some of the Xyzs, and maybe some of the Synchros in the other sets, and you might have a pretty darn powerful extra deck with a lot of variety in what they can do. There's many different ranks in here with some different requirements. Some are generic, some are not, some require 3 materials, some are not. Quite a few different levels as well. So probably there's something in here for you. Chakra, just like Battle Warrior, best card ever. And Number Wall, in case you really want to play the number game. Could protect your stuff. Who knows? One more subset. We have Dragons of Legend. And there's some pretty nice cards in here too. Yep, we have the legendary dragon cards. We have Curry Bandit that might be able to be used in some of the decks to get some cards that you want. Totally, everyone's going to play Parasite Road, even though I don't even think there's polymerization in this. There's Blackwings, not that many Blackwings, but there's Blackwings, and they're tuners, therefore more tuner options for your Synchros. If you want to play a little bit more like Anna, you have some of the train cards. Another rank 5 option if they're waters, like your level 5 with Abyss Splash. Rank ups, maybe you want to play rank ups. Rank up Magic Quick Chaos is an option. And the hands are 2. Yep, they are. So a lot of monster and spell and trap destruction in that. Now, after you've seen these cards, I'm about to go to the custom cards, because there's a few custom cards. But I want to discuss something else. I did say we can add to the Forbidden Limited list. I'm not saying Fire, Ice, and will go on the list. It all depends on suggestions. However, if multiple people feel, oh yeah, Fire and Ice Hand together, they're too powerful, everyone's going to use them in their deck, then we can make a suggestion, and then I will always make an official announcement to everyone when certain cards hit the Forbidden Limited list and to what amount. The deck submission, because you have to submit a screenshot of your deck. All the details will be in the Discord server in terms of the rules, so you can read up on it there. But you have to submit a deck list for me to verify if all the cards that you have in your deck are actually in the card pool for that tournament. Now, if, let's say, you used 3 copies of Assault Dog, let's just use Assault Dog as an example, and I decide to make that semi-limited together with some of you, but you have 3 of it in your deck, then obviously you have to change your deck. I'll always give you at least 24 hours to change your deck. Let's say this happens at the end of registration, because you have to submit your deck a day after registration ends. That's the deck submission deadline. But if the change to Forbidden and Limited list happens during the final day of registration, I will add a day to the deck submission deadlines, have a bit more time to practice or think about your deck in case you want to make those changes. Now, I did say there are a few custom cards, and we have a total of 4. Last tournament, Tournament 2, we had 3. So that's a little preview for those that want to see those videos. They will be coming soon. There's 3, although one of them was really an alternate artwork for polymerization, so there's 2. This tournament has 4 custom cards, all created by myself. The first one, because we were using Link Monsters, I thought I'll throw in Elemental Hero Electman. Now, I should note, almost all custom cards I use in these tournaments were created well before the tournament. They weren't created specifically to add to something in the tournament. They were already there, and I thought, they might just be a nice fit. Elemental Hero Electman, with a pretty big effect, can move Link Monsters on your field to a zone they point to. Can also just have a safety attack, because the opponent are unable to activate cards or effects when this card attacks or is attacked. This can be a pretty nice card, but it doesn't help summon other things. There's not really a lot of cards that can summon this guy. So it can be good, but maybe it doesn't help with consistency. And I did learn consistency is key in Tournament 1. You have to see in Tournament 2 how that works out for me. Second custom card we have is Roaring Hydra. I noticed that in this turn we don't have much in terms of monster destruction possible. Quite a few cards that can destroy or get rid of spell or traps. We saw Ice Hand, we saw Mystical Space Typhoon. There's 1 or 2 other cards that from the top of my head that I can't really remember, but there's quite a lot of spell and trap removal possible. Not really a lot of monsters, not consistent ones anyway, something like Sakuretsu Armor or Smashing Ground that we've had in previous tournaments. But I didn't want those cards in. So this is one of the few cards that was specifically created for this tournament to be a substitute for some of the others. And I wanted it to be just a main phase card. That's why it says during the main phase, just like something like Fissure. And I wanted to give an effect like Fissure, like Smashing Ground, but there was no lowest defense card yet. So I decided to make it that. But at the same time, I decided to make it a quick effect so it can be used on the opponent's turn, something like Sakuretsu Armor. So Roaring Hydra is an option for monster destruction, would you like to do so. Now, something you should notice, it works on defense. So not on Link Monsters, because they don't have defense. I have one more Synchro option for this tournament. It's a generic level 5 Beast Warrior. When I revealed this earlier as a teaser card to my Discord server, they said it's sort of like a mini number 32 Shark Drake. In terms of if it destroys a monster by battle, you can resummon it. This card gains a bit of attack and it can attack again. It's sort of a bit like a mini Shark Drake, and I agree with that. And the final card we have is a Link Monster Bird Deity Saybird, which has some pretty interesting requirements. 2 monsters with the same level but different types and attributes. So maybe you have 2 level 2s, but one is a plant earth, the other one is a pyro fire, or you have level 8s and one of them is a warrior light and the other one is an aqua wind. How many aqua winds are there? It doesn't matter. But they have to have the same level, both a different type and both different attributes. And you can use this. Also, if you can't read the bottom text, it ends right here. The links to all of these sets, not the wiki, but I'll have them for the official Yu-Gi-Oh database so you can have an easier time reading all the effects of the cards. So links to all the Yu-Gi-Oh card database pages for all the sets and links to all these custom cards will be in the rules document in my Discord server for you to read over. All the details about how the tournament will run, things I didn't mention here, will be in there as well. I hope to really see a lot of you there because, as I said, it's there's a lot more cards available and I want to see so many different possibilities. Trickstars, the Gookies, the Cybers, the Chaos, Lightsworns, anything really. I want to see a lot of different deck types used, and the more players we have, the more chance we have of seeing a lot of those things. And that just makes me so excited thinking about what the possibilities are for this tournament. And it's definitely the most competitive tournament yet. Not saying the other ones aren't competitive, they're just competitive in a different way. But this tournament I feel is the most comparable to standard Yu-Gi-Oh meta, but really it is a lot weaker because there's a lot less consistency and stuff. If you've seen my previous tournament videos, you'll know. If you've been in the tournaments, you know. Because consistency can be difficult depending on the deck you build. Because the strongest play is often not the most consistent one. So will it get you far? You'll have to find out if you're willing to take that risk. So once again, If you want to join my Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament server, the link is in the description. There's a permanent link there to take you to my server. I will welcome you there, point you out to where you can sign up, where you can read all the detailed rules, and then you can register. The registration will start, has already started when this video went live, and it'll run for about just over a week, I'd say. Top of the description will be an exact date of the registration end deadline once that has been decided on. I really hope to see you there. This is going to be so epic. I'm so looking forward to this, and I hope to see many of you there, whether new or old. I think that with this limited card pool and really not knowing what the best cards are in terms of, or the best combination of cards, makes it really exciting, puts more focus on deck building as opposed to just knowing, oh, Altergeist is good, or oh, Thunder Dragons is good, and I'll just take sort of this deck and know their effects and practice with it a little bit, and then I can do at least pretty well in the tournament already. No, deck building is a big part of this. So if you think you're a good deck builder, go for it. If you think you're not really a good deck builder, don't worry. We have plenty of very friendly people who are willing to help you out. Some who may not be able to participate in this tournament, but even some that do. They might be able to give you some hints, give you some pointers, and I will be willing to do that as well. So new players, old players, competitive players, non-competitive players, you're all welcome. I think it'll be a tournament that everyone can enjoy, and because it'll be a Swiss tournament, then sure, it's possible that someone who's very new and not very good at the game might face someone who's really, really good and then lose to them pretty easily. However, as I said, in Swiss, if you lose more regularly, then you'll be faced with people who lose more regularly, and then that increases the chance that you face someone of your own skill level. So you don't have to worry that you'll always face really good people. And if you're really good and you want to have really competitive matches, you don't have to worry that you'll always face someone who isn't very good. There's something in it for everyone, and the more participants we have, the more rounds of Swiss we can get, and the bigger the top cut after Swiss. I am so excited for this. I could talk about this for so much longer. I'm just really excited to get going. But I do have the registration take at least twice as long as normal because I really want people to sign up. I want to give people the time to sign up. I want to give me and others the ability and the time to advertise this tournament to get a lot of people into this server. And even if you can't participate in this tournament specifically, but you are interested in this type of tournament, then please feel free to join the tournament server anyway. You don't have to join the tournament. You can just hang around as well and chat about various things related to Yu-Gi-Oh! Or other things that you like. And then you might want to join Tournament 4 or Tournament 5, or maybe you just want to keep an eye on what the tournaments are like while not participating yourself. Feel free to do that as well. Invite your friends, invite everyone that you think might be interested in this type of tournament. It is a limited card pool. It is not using the standard Yu-Gi-Oh! Card pool, which is 10,000 cards by this point, if we're counting the OCG as well. It is very limited, so some may not like it, and if so, I'm sorry. But this is what I think I really like. It keeps things fresh, it keeps things new, keeps things exciting. So I hope to see a lot of you there. Thank you so very much already for the many people that have joined my tournament server over the past week. And I hope to see so many of you there. This is going to be so much. I'm so excited for this tournament to start. Please join the link in the description to my Discord, and I'll see you there. I'm Alka193. Goodbye.